B'ezrat Hashem, we're going to be counting tonight Tiferet Netzach. So we're talking the last 2 days about the power in us to be victorious, to be successful, and we explained how the Chesed Tiferet is the love, the desire to be victorious and successful, and the Gvura is to know how to play by the rules. And life is a game. This world is a game, one big game. Today we're going to be counting the Tiferet Netzach, which is the beauty in the competition. I mean, we're very competitive. All this life is competitive, whether it's with the business, relationships, everything else. Now, in every game, there's always going to be a winner. There's always going to be a loser. That's how it works. You can't have two winners. But if it's done the right way, there's a very healthy balance between the winner and the loser. And there's always going to be that. This is something that is hard for us to accept because we always want to be on the winning side, but sometimes you are on the losing side. That's how it works. And needless to say that besides the fact that we want to always be winners and we want to be successful and victorious, but sometimes you also know how to lose. You need to know how to lose. Now, when there's a very healthy balance, that's when the beauty, the revelation of the beauty happens, when there's a balance. It can be a relationship between a husband and wife, just to give us a little example. And in the relationship, there has to be a give and take. You can call it give and take, you can call it winner or loser. Because there's arguments, there's disagreements. If there's a very healthy balance, that's when the beauty of the relationship is being revealed. If there's not a healthy balance, then there's not going to be any beauty revealed there, and then you go to the psychologist, the marriage counselor, whoever it is, you go complain to the shadchanit, why did you send me that woman? She's driving me nuts. I want a refund. I want to start all over. But nevertheless, that's when the beauty is not revealed. And most couples, they don't know how to reveal the beauty within the relationship. And this is one example out of many. When there's a good balance between both sides. Here we're going to call them a winner and a loser. But nevertheless, when you play by the rules, in anything in life, then there's harmony. And when there's harmony, then the beauty is being revealed. And this is Tiferet. Tiferet is the beauty. Now, when is really the beauty being revealed? When you see that both sides are needed. If you see that only one side is needed, then there's never going to be beauty here. And again, it can be compared in a relationship, and can be emphasized in many ways. But we'll stick to the examples of relationships because that's what we are busy all our lives. And it doesn't necessarily be my relationship with my wife. It can be my relationship with my neighbor. And with my competitor even. I have a business, you have a business, we are competitors. Many years ago when I became observant, I shared with you so many times that I had a photography business. And when I came into the market, and there were other photographers, so there were a few that were very, very upset. Why is this guy coming now here? There's new blood. Now I came, Baal Tshuva, with a whole different approach into the observant world, and they were very traditional, and very quickly the Kadosh Baruch Hu made me very successful. So I had competitors that didn't like me at all, tried in whatever way possible to make me fail, which was very typical to an observant Jew, to make somebody else fail. Instead of having Ahavat Israel and whatever, Hashem is the one who's giving you parnasah, in the most disgusting ways tried to make me to fail. But there were other competitors that we were very good friends. We got friendly, we were good, healthy competitors. There's enough parnasah for everybody in the world. The Kadosh Baruch Hu is the one who's giving parnasah, and not the yellow pages. I mean, yellow pages is like a dinosaur. Tell a kid now yellow pages, he'll be like, what? So... But never,
You sound like a broken record.
yeah. But nevertheless, this can be this relationship we're talking about. It can be in business, and it could be a competitor that is resentful and hateful and tries to constantly make you fail. And there can be a competitor that says, okay, you know how many pizzerias there are in Rehov Yerushalayim? How many pizzerias? 7, 8. It's parnasah for everybody. But nevertheless, when is revealed the need for both sides, that's when the beauty is revealed. Unfortunately, in our world, we are so pulling to one direction that in any type of relationship you don't see beauty here, because everybody is very, very self-centered. They don't see that in any relationship has to be both two sides. And again, you can define it as a winner or loser, but nevertheless, there has to be two sides. And again, the relationship can be between me and my wife, can be between me and a stranger, can be between me and my neighbor, me and a business competitor, anything. Always has to be two sides. Now, how does that come to really that you see this beauty that is revealed in the two sides? When one respects and appreciates the other. If there's no appreciation and respect to the other, even if it's a competitor, then the beauty, the Tiferet of the Netzach will never be revealed. And then, needless to say, there's no beauty, then there's the opposite of beauty. And then it's only ugly. Fights, arguments, disagreements, and so forth. So, Tiferet, the Tiferet of the Netzach, is when every side praises the other side. And respects the other side. But very important is the praising of the other side. You did amazing, you did great. Like I told you, go back to the same example. Then when I was running the photography business, in the market was like maybe the 5 dominating photographers at the time. And Baruch Hashem, there was parnasah for everybody. There's a lot of observant Jews in America. But the ones that were not competitive in a disgusting way, we were me and another 2 photographers, and we were, showing each other pictures and comparing with each other and complimenting each other. Oh, here, I did amazing. And it was a very healthy, normal relationship. When I couldn't make it to an event, I would send out, you go instead of me, and we were covering on each other. This is how 2 people have to work together. We're not trying the other 2. We're constantly trying to sabotage any move, and which was my first encounter, my negative encounter in the observant world. I was like, what? A person prays 3 times a day, wears a yarmulke, and observes Shabbat, eats kosher, is particular about mitzvah, but he can't make space for another person. What am I? I'm your enemy. Came to take the food out of your mouth. Nevertheless, we have to understand we are not by ourselves in this world. This world has 7 billion people. Most people think that the world revolves around them, and they are the center of the world. Everybody else is nothing, and I am the center. And that's not how it works. We have to understand that we are a lot of people in this world, and even in my own world, my community, my shul, my family, my neighborhood, I'm not by myself here. There's other people. And you know what? Our success are depending on each other. And not only that, they're connected to each other. If I'm successful, everybody has to be happy. And when you are successful and you are successful, everybody has to be happy to each other, because our success are all connected to each other. And going again, back to the same example what I gave before with the photography, the group that we were good, the success was shared. Because like I said, we were switching jobs, getting each other jobs. The other ones, there was nothing going on. There was nothing beautiful there. It was all disgusting relationship. And this is example with business. Can be an example with a relationship. If I'm successful, my wife will be successful. If she's successful, I'm successful. My kids, my parents, doesn't matter what. But we share success. Now, what is the beauty? I mean, today we're focusing on the Tiferet. Tiferet is beauty. The beauty is when there's harmony, and there's a relationship here. Now, one thing that we want to take from that practically, that we shouldn't be afraid of any type of competition. Not in business, not in relationship. And one way where you can see a different approach to a relationship is between siblings in a family. Now, you see it more when they're young, not when they're older. But even when they're older, there's a lot of competition in the siblings. Who gets the more attention from the parent? Who gets more praised by the parent? Who gets the better room in the house? We have arguments in the house. How come he has 2 windows and I have only one there? My window's turned this way and this window's turning that way. And my room is 3.5 square feet more than him. But nevertheless, this is where you see also that the relationships are very competitive. So again, I'm just throwing the ideas. You can digest it and analyze it to what you feel is relating to you. But first of all, and most important, what we need to learn is we shouldn't be afraid of being competitive, of any type of competition, whether it's business, whether it's anything. Even, there's also a competitive attitude in a yeshiva. Who's the more brighter student? Who's the student that gets it first? In one of the yeshivot when I was learning, there was one guy, nobody liked him because he was competitive in a very negative way. He was b'chavana trying to prove to everybody that he understood better. Who cares if you understood better? What, it makes you a better individual? So you understood more than me. Big deal. So you learned another page than me. It was done in a very not nice way. So one should not be afraid of any type of competition. And needless to say, one should not be afraid of any type of relationship. Most people are afraid of relationships. They're kind of like, keep your distance. I don't want to get into a relationship when I don't know if I'm going to have control in this relationship or lose control. Now, we have to remember that also being competitive or any type of competition is just what promotes and helps. When you have two athletes competing, it makes them all become better. If nobody's competing with me, why would I strive to become better? So competitive, the whole idea of winning, losing, it's a very positive thing. Now, excuse me? Yeah, exactly. Now, how do I apply that to my life? First and most important, I have to be extremely, extremely cautious that I never cross my boundaries. There is a term, a halachic term, I don't know the correct term in English. In Hebrew, it's called hasagat gvul, that I'm going into somebody else's boundary. This is not allowed to. It's not allowed to, according to halakha. I'm not talking here now morally. I'm not allowed to go into somebody else's boundary, whether it's business, whether it's a property. Here in Tzfat, we have a big problem with that. All the houses are on top of each other. There's a lot of hasagat gvul here. And even in business, in different relationships, first of all, I have to be very cautious that I'm never going into somebody else's territory. Territory, I mean, again, the English term is maybe space. In Hebrew, again, the term is hasagat gvul. Gvul is a border or a domain. Can't go into somebody else's domain. More than that, I have to be very careful that I'm not making something on somebody else's back. This can be specifically in business, and it can be in many other things. I have to be very good. This is hasagat gvul. Hasagat gvul is I can't go into somebody else's field, into his domain. I can't make money on somebody else's back. To be very careful from that. This is something that a lot of people fail in. People are very particular about a lot of mitzvot, but there's a whole long list of mitzvot that people just completely ignore. And usually it's between ben adam lechavero. And this is a very severe avera as hasagat gvul. Not allowed to do that. So, first of all, practically saying, I have to be very careful. I have to be very careful with the hasagat gvul. I have to be very careful with not riding on somebody's back. Now, there is a Mishnah, one of the most powerful Mishnayot in Tractate Avot, that when I first read it, it was very profound. And the Mishnah says, the wealth or the finance, the money, the property of your friend should be favorable in your eyes like as if it's your own. Most people don't know how to apply that. Most people, if it's not their own, they'll wreck it. People rent a car, they don't care. They just drive, they fly over the speed bumps. They want to test the suspension to see if it will really support the jump. And you go into a hotel, wreck the hotel. I mean, not you, I'm just saying, a lot of people, when it's not theirs, they don't care. Very reckless. This Mishnah comes and tells us you have to take care of other people's property like it's their own property. And much more than that. This is the title. And this is a mamash ahavat Israel. This is mamash applying v'ahavta l'cha kamocha. That you take care of somebody else's property, their wealth, their money. Sometimes you will go to a place and you will be very reckless with I'll give an example here. Some people that's their nature also at home, but some people, when they're at home, they turn the lights off, they're running, the water is running, they'll turn it off, they'll be very careful with their electricity bill. When they come to somebody else's place, I don't care, let the dude work for 12 hours, it's not mine, I don't care, I'm not paying the electricity bill here. So, and that's how a lot of people behave. So this is V'yir mamon chavecha chaviv alecha keshelach. I'm particular in my own home. I pay a lot of money in electricity bills. I turn lights off, and the dude, and some people, they come to go to somebody else. I don't care, it's not mine. I don't care if the hot water is running here for 2 hours. This is a type of asagat gvul. It's not yours. Don't waste somebody else's money and their wealth, their property. This is one form of hasagat gvul. There are a few topics that I think we really should start learning more thoroughly. One of them is gezel. Nobody knows how to really follow gezel. People are failing in gezel then, right? We just read that last week in the parasha in Kedoshim. So ligzol, not allowed to do gezel. Gezel is not exactly stealing. Gezel is when you take somebody's, you're wasting somebody's money, or you're stealing their money without them knowing. Stealing, you break through the window and you come in and you, oh my God, my VCR, it was taken. You know that somebody stole it. Gezel, you don't even know that somebody took from you. Besides that stealing, you sneak through the door at night, through the window. Gezel, I can just sit in front of you and I can do gezel to you. But nevertheless, this is one of the severe things, but hasagat gvul is a very serious thing, and a lot of people, they don't understand really what it means. But nevertheless, I constantly have to have the awareness when I want to put it into practicality, is that I'm not going into somebody else's domain. That I know what are my boundaries. There's a very healthy, it can be a healthy relationship here between one and the other, but I need to know my boundaries. And I need to know to cross to other people's boundaries, and I need to understand more thoroughly that sometimes in the relationship, you are the winner, and I'll be the loser. I mean, it sounds bad, the loser. But sometimes you have the upper hand, sometimes I have it. Sometimes you give in, sometimes I give in. This is the idea of Netzach. Netzach is the concept of nitzachon, of winning. But, sometimes a greater winner when he knows how to lose. It's your time to win right now. It's your time to have success. It's your time to have the spotlight on you, and I'll be right now in my corner. Nothing wrong with that. So it's a very powerful week, the whole week of Netzach, to really put us in the right perspective, how I deal with life. And the most important practical thing here that I have to apply here is to understand that there's a lot of people around me. There has to be space and room for everybody. And I should be happy when somebody else is successful. There's in the same tractate, in Masechet Avot, it says, Bilpol oivecha al tismach. When you see your enemy fall, don't start partying. There's a question. We just finished Pesach. In the first 2 days of Pesach, for the ones who are celebrating the diaspora, we celebrate one day. We say the whole Hallel. And in the last day of Pesach, we only say half Hallel. Why we only say half Hallel? Because on the last day of Pesach, it's when they crossed the ocean, and the Egyptians died. And when they were about to sing, Hashem says, whoa, 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 my creatures are drowning right now. Don't make a party here. It's no time for you to sing. So the Mishnah says, don't be so happy when you see your enemy fail. Usually when you see your competitor, his store goes up on fire, you dance and, oh, so sorry, it's so sad, it's such a loss. And you go home and you crack up. So you have to get rid of this approach, that you have to be extremely happy when even your enemy is successful, because first of all, it's Hashem that's giving him the success. Unfortunately, in our generation, somebody else is a little bit more successful than you. Right away, he's the biggest enemy. Right away, everybody, let's see how we're destroying him, because he's a little bit more successful than me. This just goes to show how a person has zero emunah in the Kadosh Baruch Hu. What, you don't think that the Kadosh Baruch Hu is the one who's giving you the success? And he's giving your neighbor the success? Hashem is choosing who's going to be successful. If I'm jealous and upset and angry because somebody else is doing better than me, where's your emunah? How are you believing in Hashem? You think that you have any control here? And unfortunately, in our communities, you see it all the time. Somebody else is a little bit more better. He has one more student than the other. He has one more chapter of saying, oh, he's now the enemy of the universe. But nevertheless, we have to be very aware. Take the power of the competitive power in me, but to also know that a real winner knows how to sometimes step aside and say, it's time for you to stand on the podium. It's time for you to be the winner here. And you know what? When you win, I'm a winner too. We're all together. My success is your success. Your success is also my success. And this can be in a personal relationship, and it can be in a very large scope relationship. And needless to say, that when I apply that, the ultimate winner is me. I'm the one who's bringing harmony. I'm the one who's bringing closeness and love and unity. And Baal Hashem should really know how to apply that, because we fail, specifically in that, we fail big time in many different departments, so to say. Needless to say, the Omer is coming here to, to adjust the loose bolts, like a spiritual chiropractor. So the point is to know how to apply it. And needless to say, when we apply it, life becomes better, the world becomes better, Mashiach comes faster.